Subscribe to get contents via mail. Purchase shorthand journals and more.
The learned sessions judge, on evaluation of the evidence on record, came to the conclusion that the deceased wife had committed suicide because of mental and physical torture perpetuated on her by the appellant husband. On such finding, the verdict of guilt was pronounced, sentencing the appellant as aforesaid. PW1 Srimati Girija Borua was the president of the Mohila Samiti at the relevant time. She deposed that she was told by the deceased that her husband used to torture her physically. She was also shown the injured thumb and injury marks on her back. She tendered in evidence the application, Exhibit 1, submitted by the deceased. PW2 Srimati Nilima Kakoti was the secretary of the Mohila Samiti. She deposed that the deceased met them and showed the injury on her thumb and caused by her husband and injuries on other parts of her person. About 10 days later, the deceased met her again and informed that she had left her matrimonial home, being unable to tolerate the torture of her husband. Next day, this witness came to know that Saraswati had committed suicide. These two witnesses have stated what they have been told by the deceased. They are not eyewitnesses to the occurrence of torture and assault. They deposed on information given by the deceased before her death. PW3, a neighbor, deposed that he came to know that the accused had been quarreling with Saraswati since the day of marriage. He could also hear the sounds of shouts of Saraswati and accused. He did not ask either Saraswati or the accused anything about the quarrel. He further said that the deceased had told his wife that the accused had cut her thumb and his wife applied medicine to her wound. He further stated that he had often heard the deceased crying in her house and also heard the sound of beating. This witness came to know from his wife that the accused had caused injury on her thumb. The evidence of this witness shows that the couple was not in good terms, often quarreling and shouting. PW4, another neighbor, said that he heard that the two sons of the accused from his first wife were living with them. He often heard sound of beating and shouting. The deceased once reported his wife that she was subjected to torture and asked to leave the house. Once the witness was reported by the deceased that she was assaulted by her husband. He has no direct knowledge about the alleged assault except reports from his wife and once from the deceased given prior to death. The evidence of PW5 stand on a different footing. She stated that quarrel started between the couple after about 3 months of marriage and she used to hear the cries of Saraswati, the deceased.